there. I created a forest town start example video, and I had mentioned on there that I would take it all the way to gasoline. However, I have been running long on videos and I can't make them too long. So I've created another one on gasoline. Basically, what you didn't see on the other video is I think I've added one or two farmers since then. I've got 4 farmers, and looking at my score, you get 200 points for every time you sell grapes. So I have sold grapes 5 times, and before that I sold wheat 7 times, and that is how I have accumulated the number of dollars, and this is what I've got. Please feel free to look at the other video on the start, because like I say, I've run over time wise, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about what I've already discussed with you. So basically, the point of this video is to show you how to get to a point to create gasoline. But so in order to create gasoline, we're going to need a refinery that I would prefer that it have 2 water pumps adjacent to it. And when I say adjacent, it can be cat-a-corner. That counts as far as water pumps go. When you go to place a power plant next to a water pump, it will have to be on one of the 4 flat sides. Excuse me. Like that. It won't work doing it adjacent. However, if this were your water pump and you had a refinery, for example, it will count that as a water source. Another thing that's kind of a little weird is if you ever create a steel mill, you would it would have to have a water pump next to it, but if it had one diagonally from it, it would also count that as a water drum as well. So that's just a little bit of info that I'm throwing out there. You may or may not care about that, and later on, if you create some steel mills, you'll probably figure out exactly what works and what doesn't. But that is part of a thing about water pumps. So we're going to have 2 water pumps associated with the refinery for making gasoline. Then we'll have that'll be a water pump with a power plant, refinery, which will be that, a water pump, and another power plant. This will be adjacent to this is my saw lumber mill, and it will be adjacent to the water source and to the power plant. The power plant could actually be one away from that and it still work, because with the power plant, the next closest square is 3 energy, then the one next to that is 2, the one after that is 1 energy. And so that's good to know, especially if you're using something like sand mines. They just need 2 energy. So you could have a road and have, them across from it. Same with the lumber mill and the refinery for making petroleum. But I'm just using this configuration because it's convenient. This pond was already there. No need to reinvent the wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got $155,000 so far. It's going to take quite a bit more than that, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and start building my infrastructure, especially with this slow joker here that you can actually create. These don't have to be next to a road, the builder houses. You could create like multiple ones of those, as many as you want, but it depends on what kind of hurry. Sometimes I get really impatient and have about 10 of them, and then they typically, if you needed one piece of wood and you had 10 guys, they'd all be carrying a piece of wood instead of one carrying wood and one carrying something else. But anyway, um, that's just, I don't know why the builders are not better programmed, but still fun, still just have to be patient with it. Sometimes I get excited and that causes me to not be very patient. So, we're going to continue selling grapes and bringing in some money so we can do the rest of this infrastructure. Now, the way I'm going to lay it out, we're going to have all 4 of our buildings. Let me think if I want the other refinery over here or over here. It would be fine to put it over here, but it's going to be really close to these grapes here. Let me see. If we have a power plant here, then you need 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. See, it's not going to affect our grapes where they are with our power plant. I don't believe. I think we're safe. But if I put a refinery here, 1, 2, 3, it may put 1 shade on that. So, or 1 pollution actually. So what I think I'll probably do, I don't know if I'd rather it be on my grapes or my trees. I think I'd rather the shade be on my grapes. So I will put a refinery here. And I am just so happened to pick this configuration, but you can do any number of configurations if you wanted to. And I tend to make the videos too long, so I'm not going to discuss other configurations. We're just going to accept this is what I picked, and this is what we're going to do in this video. If you watch some of my other videos, I'm sure I'll use different ones. When the money is tighter, I like to make like have a power plant here and a refinery here with the water pump where the marshes are, and then just have one paved road. So this refinery and power plant would share a paved road. That's going to save you $10K. And then you can do the same thing on this side. This would be the water pump, so you could have a power plant and a refinery and one paved road. And in that case, you would probably put your, if you have a refinery here and a water pump here, you'd probably want to put your lumber mill either right here or right here next to that. In this case, with the road being where it is, it'd be good to put the lumber mill there or right there, either way. But anyway, I just said I wasn't going to talk about that, and then I did. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, if you notice, we are not even close. When I do my start, you need to review that if you haven't. I do not usually sell gasoline. So if you think about what we've got left here, I can sell 27 more times. So I'm not that great in math right off the top of my head, but so 27 times 41, which is what you get. Now, it wouldn't be all that amount because you are paying wages over time, right? But essentially, that's $1,100,000, and so it's not even going to be close or tight to get this build done. But what I would kind of like to do is uh, crank up my, oh my goodness, I'm out of lumber. I mean, out of wood. Okay, I'm going to have to create another lumberjack, and I'm going to actually probably plant a few more grapevines just to have the money rolling in a little faster, and maybe 3 or 4 or 5 um, more grapevines. And I'm going to pause the video because I don't want it to go too long to publish, and I will come back when I have uh, more. Actually, I'm going to here's what I'm going to do. Before I do that, I'm going to remove that tree and put a lumberjack there, and that's going to help my wood situation. And where are they at? There he is. And it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to create 5 lumber, and I'm going to create a paved road here, and I'm going to go ahead and create this power plant. That way, I can very expediently create some lumber that I need. And what I'm going to do then is going to be plant some grapes, some more grapes. You see each of these spots that I'm uh, clicking on. This one has 2 water. This one has 2 water. This one and this one. This one has 2 water. This one and this one. This has 2 water. 1, 2. This does, and this one does. So I'll create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more grapevines after um, I create my um, paved road and my power plant. So I will return. I'll return and let you see me do the power plant, and then I'll pause it again and do the go ahead and create the lumber for the other stuff. So I will return shortly. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to let you see what I'm doing. I went ahead and created another lumberjack just to get this train rolling. And what I want to do is take and you have to put, if there is no road, you have to put some sort of road. So I went ahead and put a dirt road there that costs 1K. Now I'm just going to upgrade it, okay? And once I upgrade it, I'll have a paved road there, and I can put the power plant there. And we are having trouble keeping wood, it seems. So I'm just going to go ahead and under farm lumberjack, I'm going to choose another lumberjack. And it doesn't really matter if they scavenge all these trees. The thing of it is, these tree farms, there's like a S shape tree set of ponds in the forest. If you just take like 2 of them, then you can leave enough for a couple of spots for trees, for tree farms. And the tree farms require 7 water. So each of these spots has 7 water. So they're automatically watering. And that way, when you're getting all this wood, if these are popped or grown, if they're ready, then the lumberjack will come and get those instead of spending all this time running way down here, getting all these ones, and just taking astronomical amounts of time. Of course, it looks like they're going to do that a little bit anyway, but I've got the 4 lumberjacks now. So we're good with that. We are able to keep up. One thing, you don't want to starve your grape production of wood when you're building. Sometimes it's hard and you have to just make the sacrifice. But if you don't have to, it's good to keep these growing, because without the funds from the grapes, there won't be much production. So, all right, this little guy's finally got our wood there for our paved road. Now we can create a power plant. If you notice, we have $149,000, and so we're not in danger. If I had only had 104,000 or something, then we might want to wait for another sale. But we're totally in the clear. We're going to go ahead and do that. Although we don't have all of our stuff ready, this little guy takes so long to carry it, and since we only have one woodshed, he will carry the lumber out of there, which will make room for more wood that hopefully these little guys are going to bring. And it might turn out that we have to stop our lumber mill for a second if our crops start suffering. But we seem to have a good amount of wood and lumber right now. We are, let's see, we've got 2 made, and I know that this is too close to the wind turbine, okay? However, once we get the power plant built, I can remove this one thing, and then it won't be messing with it. And also, once we get the power plant built, this lumber mill is not going to have to come over here and get its energy from there. So we're going to use 5 of this energy to do that. We would use 10 for the lumber. We've got 4 lumber so far. So after he finishes this piece of lumber, I'm going to go ahead and just stop him so that we can get 5 wood, and then he can also bring over that lumber, which is going to be taking up room in our limited space woodshed. So we're very close to being ready to roll on that. And if we wanted to create energy from here, from after we build the power plant, if we wanted to utilize it to create energy, we could do that if we put a oil pump out here and probably want to use two of them because it requires two per energy. But I don't find that unless you have an oil seep, I don't find that to be a particularly effective way to create energy because the oil pumps, like you can get a wind turbine can be like two away from your crops. You could have crops here. But if this was an oil pump, it would be one, two, three, four. Your crops, it would affect everything up to, to there. You could plant crops here and it not affect it. So the pollution on an oil pump is like four, I believe. So it's not good. Did we say we were going to stop this? Let me stop it and then we'll evaluate where we are on the lumber situation. We've got one already carried over. We've got four in our, now we've got um, a full thing, but maybe these guys are going to take some of it, at least one of it. He'll probably get the last energy before he goes for the wood and the lumber. But hopefully, that's what I mean about the guy being so slow. But what I can do is just bite the bullet and create another builder. And we need to sell grapes. We definitely don't want to neglect the grapes and let the silo get full, because once it's full, if they pick grapes, they're going to just destroy them, and that's kind of a costly loss in a way, um, when we could be getting the 41K for them. And it doesn't cost you anything except the lost wages while you're doing that, if you want to think about it. So it's not a huge deal if you do that. Don't get upset with yourself. I tend to get upset with myself when I mess up, but some of the mistakes are just learning type mistakes, and who really cares. It's a game and it's fun to play. It's fun to build stuff and decide what you're going to build and whatnot. Um, okay, so I am going to pause the video here. All I'm going to do is wait for these little builder guys to finish building my power plant. I will click on it to activate it, and then I'm going to, on the craft button for the power plant, it'll come up and you can stop it, because I'm not going to be giving it any crude oil. And if I start creating crude oil for my refinery, I don't want it to take the crude oil. So I'm going to just go ahead and stop it. We're going to continue this energy production for now, and we're going to most likely, I think I'm past the rough spots. I'm going to go ahead and remove this so that my energy production can get back to normal, and we don't really need that many uh, lumberjacks now. I was just being a little impatient. All right, so 3 more wood. I'm going to activate this. Then I'm going to stop it from making energy. And I'm going to utilize the lumber mill to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6 more grapevines. Pinot Noir grapevines that's the ones that we are making, and then I'll come back and show you some more of the gasoline build out. Probably our next thing is going to be remove that marsh and put another water pump. But regardless of what it is, I will come back before I do it. So I don't want the video to be too long, so I'm going to pause it. I'll be back. Okay, what I'm doing now is I just have set up the paved roads that we talked about for the refinery for the gasoline, the other power plant, and the refinery for the petroleum. Now, one thing that I'm going to do in the meantime is I think I'm going to set up over here 4 oil pumps, and they're pretty standard. They're under industrial, and go down and the little builder guys, got 2 now. They will take the wood over. So I'm going to end up removing those stumps and just go ahead and make 4 of those so that when we get ready to make petroleum, they will be able. Unfortunately, I'm not removing that right now, so he'll have to walk all the way over there to where it is. But I'm going to put a fuel tank, just like this one, fuel storage, just like that one over here, so that when this guy creates petroleum, he'll put it in there, and then this guy will be able to get it, create gasoline, and carry it back. And that way they don't have to walk all over the place. Now, in the meantime, they will, until the guy making the petroleum will have to go over here to get the crude oil that we produce from that, but we will change that up later. It's not a big deal, and we're just having to do the best we can do right now. So that is my plan, and I'm going to have to let some more money accumulate. I only have 61K right now, but I'll come back when I get ready to build the 2 refineries and the power plant. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you what building the refinery is like. That way I won't have to come back until I start them up. You saw me build this power plant, and I'll go ahead and drop a refinery here. And then the other refinery will be just the same. You go to the industrial tab and you go down to refinery. You notice that it says must place near paved road. I'm not going to activate them until I come back because and we're ready to do anything, because they're $200 a minute. So unless I accidentally activate it, I won't be doing that. And when I do the power plant, it's $300 a minute. So I'll get to the point where I'm ready to activate them to be able to save on time. Just letting you know what it is that I'm doing. I actually over here, I went ahead and set up some more farmers, because now I have 16 grapevines, and the worker guy here who fetches the energy and puts it in the warehouse will take the crude oil when it's ready and put it in the fuel storage. Actually, I might just leave, since it's going to be a good while before we start creating petroleum. I might just leave it at 1 for now, and just let him accumulate them in the fuel storage. So I'm going to create a fuel storage, 2 refineries, and a power plant. And I said I was going to let you see me drop a refinery, and I got sidetracked. So here we go. That's all there is to it. The guys will bring over the 5 wood, and it'll be good to go. So I will be back shortly. Alrighty, we are ready to talk about the gasoline build. Now, I think I pretty much explained how everything was going to work. I put a fuel tank here so that we don't have as far to walk when we create a petroleum. Then the guy who makes gas will get the petroleum, make the gas, and then return it, the gas to the tank. So right now we don't have it set up 100%. Ideally, we've got the oil pump away from the gas setup, so the crude oil is going in there, and so the guy who creates the petroleum is going to have to walk all the way over there to get it. It's like I say, that's not ideal, but that's all right. This is just an example. Keep that in mind when you create it for yourself. I could have put a couple of crude oil pumps over here. The only thing to keep in mind is they will affect 4 spaces. So that would affect your trees and your crops. I don't want that right now. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to set this guy up to go ahead and start creating petroleum. So this lanky little guy here is going to run over and grab some crude oil. If you notice, without the other power plant running, this guy's got more than enough power, and being right next to a power plant is 3, and that's why we wanted the gasoline producing refinery to be next to both power plants, because it takes 6 energy to make gasoline. But this guy, he could have been over here. But the reason why we got them close together is for the use of the water pump. He could have actually been over here if it would have been convenient, because this row gets 3, that row gets 2 from this. So that would work too. There are a lot of different configurations, as long as you know what the rules are, as far as like anything this close gets 3, anything this close gets 2, and fuel storage doesn't even need it. So he's producing petroleum right now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on or activate by clicking on this. When you see the wrench and the hammer, you click on it to activate it, and then we're going to start getting charged for it. So, but we are ready because we got petroleum ready. He's putting it in this tank right now. If you would need me to zero in on it a little more, there you go. We got 1 petroleum in there. Now we're going to turn this on or activate this, but then we're going to stop it from creating energy, because we don't want to utilize our crude oil for the purpose of energy. See how it says 0 crude oil? We're going to keep it 0. So this guy says, okay, you stop me, I'll go back. If you wait till he puts any crude oil in there, then it's going to be wasted. Okay, so now we're going to turn on our gasoline producing, and we can make any one of these 3 items with either one of these, but the way we got this set up has 2 water drums and 6 energy. So this is ideal for gasoline. That's how we set it up. That's what we intended to use it to do. So now, if you notice, all he needs is petroleum, and he's going to get the petroleum from there, snatched it right out of there, and he's producing our gas. It's going to take 30 seconds, and when he's done, he's going to put it right back here. He could put it in this other storage, but he's not going to go any farther than he needs to. They're going to choose the closest storage as long as there's space in that storage unit. So we are ready to sell grapes again. So basically, I think that's all the info that you need. Uh, Certainly, if you have any questions or concerns, comment below. But I think that's all that you need in order to keep this town going. And if you notice, it only took 23 sell times, and we still have 99K. So doing it in the forest is pretty easy, and you can utilize the cash to actually start clearing out trees, building ponds, or redoing things however you feel like you want to. But you'll see that doing the grapes is a great cash generator to get you to where you need to be. So I'm going to end this here. Like, share, and subscribe. And I hope this helps. And like I say, I'm going to be making more videos. So stay tuned.